you install a play, you fit to a sound defense or a base defensive look, and when all of a sudden those rules change and the shift, and especially for a team like us and a lot of teams in the Big Ten do this, Michigan, Iowa, us, with Indiana, when there's a heavy emphasis on double teams and combinations and who you're IDing and who you're working to, and all of a sudden those change post snap. That's very difficult, and now you have to. It's a lot easier for a team that just kind of goes laterally every play, right? But those are usually not your good running teams. Those are teams that throw spread it out, throw it out, right? And every once in a while they'll find one, increase one. We're trying to create those every play, and so that makes it challenging. Defenses know that. I mean, you look back in our 11 personnel, Duke had outnumbered the box every play, right? Well, you got to be able to combat that, whether that's with the throw, whether that's with a different scheme, whether that's run the guy over. You got certain choices for that, but we got to put our guys in positions to be successful in those situations. So we've had to change some techniques from time to time, right, to improve that, especially later on in the year when teams start moving. And we did that last year at Rutgers, at Michigan State, Northwestern at the end of the year, right? And you could kind of see how they did a lot of the similar pressure patterns, and guys kind of stayed on their tracks and did some good things. So you just keep getting better at those types of things, and kind of build off of not only just week 1, week 2, but now this next jump to week 3. We need to be really good.
Sorry if it's a repeat question, but 2 games in, what are some things that you're pleased with your guys up front, and what are some things not so pleased with?
Well, our guys fight. Our guys work hard. They're physical. They're tough. All that's kind of a standard of the program, so I'm pleased with that. I do like their maturity. Their ability to handle adjustments has been positive. Obviously, Duke was a good example of that, right? We thought we had a good plan going in. Duke took it away. Duke did everything they could to take that outside zone and run the game away, and did a good job of it. Obviously, I mean, we came back and made some adjustments in the second half, and that before half they had all the momentum, right? They had just gotten a sack, they had scored a touchdown, and gotten the game within 1, and we were not reeling at halftime, but the momentum felt like it was going the other way, and our guys came out. We took advantage of an opportunity, a missed opportunity on the. And went down and scored, and then really never, really capitalized on everyone after that. So, and kind of found our rhythm in the second half, right? No sacks in the second half. I think we had 170 some net yards or gross yards rushing, or total yards rushing, and then obviously with the lost yardage from the first half, right, decreased it to 120 on the year, but. On the game, but 300 yards total offense in the second half. So, and we were able to run the ball a little bit more effectively. So, there was the ability to make those adjustments and maturity there. I've been pleased with. We got to get more consistent. We got to clean up some things in terms of our fits, consistency with our steps and our body positions, and we're out of control sometimes because we are trying to be so physical that we got to play under control a little bit better. I got to do a better job putting them in positions on those obvious passing situations, you can't be in a 3-point stance in second, 20 it was, and the guy's blowing, pinning his ears back and going. That's poor coaching on my part. So a lot of things like that we can get better at, and guys obviously, JC was his second game, but he didn't go through fall camp, and that was a fall camp kind of day, right? I mean, that was 90 degrees in the heat, and so he'll get better and better, and all those guys continue to get better each week on certain things, and so now we got to. Again, as a team, we can't, one guy can't have a bad play here and one guy here and one guy here. That's kind of what's happened. It's just one guy somewhere across the offense that has messed up, which has led to some inconsistency. But, we're averaging 48 points a game, and we're 2-0 and doing some good things offensively, capitalizing in certain areas, red zone, and, doing some good things there. Short yardage has been positive. So we just got to keep building on those things, get better at the little details and the fundamentals.
You always talk about how communication is key, right? So how's that been so far? And Josh Creech plays a big role in that, right?
Oh, yeah, Josh plays a huge role in that. Communication is key. It's been better at certain things. I think it's better up front. We got to do a better job of communicating to tight ends, running backs. We had a miscue on one this week when Luke actually got hit. It was just a communication error. So there's things like that we got to improve upon. Sure.
You mentioned the maturity to make those halftime adjustments. And it's just a group that maybe you can challenge like that at halftime to maybe point out specific things that need to be fixed and they can get fixed.
Yeah, I think that's what that allows you to do. Is a lot of times that can be hard to come in. In your mind you're playing hard, and they did play hard, but they're playing hard, and things are you're frustrated. It's hot. Things are going well, and all of a sudden someone's telling you you're not good enough, right? Or that's not good enough. Or we got to change this or whatever. And there can be a sense of frustration there, and really there wasn't in the locker room. We knew what we kind of needed to do and came in and approached it, and all you saw was a bunch of head nods and we'll get this fixed, and there was just some awareness there and some recognition of what needed to get done, and then they come out and after we got the break on the penalty, right, and went down and scored right away, and then really every time after that they had some momentum and rhythm, and they kind of knew they made some adjustments for the first half. They knew when they were going to do some things, and ended up finishing the game off really well. So that is maturity. It is growth, I guess. There, it's humility to an extent there, right? And it's coaching. It's experienced players. It's all guys coming together to get the win and beat a good football team. Duke's going to win a lot of games. They're a good football team, good defensive football team, and they finished, and I was proud of them for that.
Bart, I'm not trying to make excuses, but do you think there might be some of those inconsistencies you were talking about these first few weeks? Because I know JC's played a lot of football and Melvin's played a lot of football, but when you're not repping in preseason camp with all 5 of those continuity,
sure,
you would think that there would be a little bit of hiccups a little bit.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that you weren't trying to not be smart with JC and Melvin. You know what I'm saying? Though, like you would have loved to have them repping as much as in preseason camp. And then that carries over.
Yeah, of course it does, and I'm not building a soft bed by any extent, but Duke's one of the better defensive teams that we play from a schematic standpoint, and I give a lot of credit to Coach Diaz and his staff, and those 2 DNs were really good players, and they did a lot of things to cause chaos and cause disruption, and when you get a guy like JC, who's a tremendous football player, a guy like Getsky, tremendous football player, Josh, all the way across the board, right, and then all of a sudden things, they find themselves in a situation that had been in a while, right, or maybe ever, and for him to be able to adjust and then play the way they did in the second half, that says a lot to their character, says a lot to their ability to take the adjustments, to our staff to be able to make the adjustments, and then they fought and finished, and it was a 1-point game at halftime to ended up being a 26-point game at the end, right, and we played clean football. We didn't have a ton of MEs. We physically made some mistakes, and those are the things you can live with. You can say, okay, hey, we got to get better at this step. We got to get better at this fit, at this aiming point. If we were mis-IDing things and making all kinds of mental busts, that would be a big concern. So that's really been my focus now is to clean up some of the technique and some of the things that maybe got us beat physically at times, and obviously not put them in a position that happens.
And I wanted to add that maybe this gets missed by the lane a little bit, but there are runs sometimes that get fitted up where it looks like at the line it might go for no gain or 1 yard, and you look up and it's 2nd and 7. That's a win for you guys, right? That's an absolute W.
Yeah, well, we want 4 yards. 4-yard gain is a great play, right? So 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to take that all the way down the field, and there's things. That's the nature of football, right? There's times where it's blocked up, great, and we throw the ball. And you're like, but there's also times when it's not, and they throw the ball, and it's like, oh, thank God he threw that. That's just the nature of the game, right? And so that's why you look at it, and you look at just and that's why it's not like, hey, one position group failed here, one position group failed here. It's one guy here, right? And it might be, Brandon Henderson on one play, it might be Josh Kreutz on one play, it might be JC or Melvin on one play, and then next play 4 of the 5 are great, and one guy has penetration or whatever it is, and that costs, or maybe the back goes a little bit wide on something, or just one thing here and there. That's offensive football. We got to together as an offense, we got to keep getting better and better, more consistent that way, so we're all on the same page. Like, do your 111th, right? And that's a big focal point, I think, as we move forward. As we have one more non-conference game against a quality opponent, and then after that, it's all conference. So that's a big point of emphasis as we move forward. Is chasing perfection, chasing those the high details of everything, the fundamentals, the scheme, right? Doing your job. And then obviously the things that are just kind of ingrained in our kids: tough, smart, dependable, physicality, all that stuff is a given, or should be a given. And so every once in a while, there were some examples of guys I think got tired and got hot, and that again, goes back to camp, and guys we had multiple weeks where guys were out, and so I have confidence we'll get back into that, or they'll get those guys will pick it up, and we'll be good moving forward.
There's been some opportunities for the twos, not a lot, but a little bit. TJ McMillan, Schuster, maybe some other guys I'm forgetting.
Well, we had 3 guys. Hansen got in there at the end when Behan cramped up, and so we had 3 guys that went into actual game reps, not just mop-up time or victory time. We had 3 guys go in for live rep situations for one of the starters at one point in the game, and we said at the beginning of the year we're going to need at least 8, and sure enough, 8 played, and so then we used some other packages at times, and we'll always kind of carry stuff like that. So just good examples. TJ went in and played really well. I was pleased with when Des was in there. It was good to see those guys and get those guys experience, because you never know, you're one play away, and you don't want your first play to be in there and on the goal line at Ohio State. So to get those guys some repetition and they went in and played the way they did in those high pressure moments was good to see.
We always think of TJ as a center, but showed some versatility, right?
Yeah.
Slide over to guard.
TJ played some guard, and then also played some tight end and did some great things there too. So yeah, he's versatile, very versatile.